Today's day 19, and it's only going to be a half day today because we knew that there was a story breaking on the BBC at midnight, and I'd made it to Warwickshire, so I got a lift home. I finished our press release response about 20 to 2 in the morning. I then had to do my first radio interview at 20 past 7 in the morning, and we believe that there's more to come on this story at midday, so I feel thoroughly vindicated at the concept of coming home and just going back this afternoon and doing a half day and then carrying on. The BBC story that broke at midnight is something a lot of us have known. We've been lied to. We've been systematically and cynically lied to for at least 3 years because they've got hold of a letter from Patrick McLaughlin. Yes, it's that long ago. It's when Patrick McLaughlin was Transport Secretary before Grayling, to George Osborne. Yes, it's that long ago. It's back when George Osborne was still Chancellor. That's basically saying, yeah, it's over budget, it's behind schedule, we can't deliver it to scope. That's all right, isn't it, George? Don't worry. Oh, by the way, we failed review point 1. Well, we're just going to go ahead anyway without the checks and balances that the safeguards that having to pass review point 1 provides to the taxpayer. That's fine, isn't it? Yeah, no problem. And so basically, we have been lied to for 3 years, not just the public, but Parliament. You've got to remember, this is 2016. This is before HS2 Phase 1 gets royal assent, right? This is before the final vote on HS2. They knew that when they went to Parliament, when MPs voted on HS2, that they were being lied to about the costs, about the timetable, and about the scope of the project, saying it can't be done like that. When Terry Morgan, the former chair of HS2, it seemed that was the first time that was admitted when he said something's got to give in terms of scope, cost, and timetable. That was only a couple of months ago, right? They've known this for over 3 years, and they have just lied and lied and lied. The standard line has been, HS2 is on time and on budget, and I thoroughly expect it to stay so. Just last month, Nuskani, one of the junior DfT ministers, was defending the 55.7 billion budget 3 years after they knew it could not be delivered for that amount of money. And if they've been lying about the timetable, the costs, and the schedule for over 3 years, well, of course they've been lying about everything else. All the benefits that they've made up, or everything else. We've always said, this is a problem about the review that's happening now. Say, we should look and see if there's more economic benefits. Yes, because that's what you always do whenever HS2 is in trouble. You just go away and invent more economic benefits. You lie a bit more. And that's what HS2 is. It is a railway that is fueled by lies. Oddly enough, the other piece of HS2 news that's come out today is that George Osborne's vested interest lobbying cartel, the Northern Powerhouse Partnership, decided, this review that the government are doing, it's got a couple of people who don't like HS2 on it, so we need to do our own review with just people who want HS2, and we'll say whatever we want them to say. And it does seem quite odd that today we found out that George Osborne knew categorically that HS2 was over budget and behind schedule, and that the mechanisms to try and protect the taxpayer had been removed or bypassed. And the first thing he does when he leaves politics and goes into the private sector is set up Northern Powerhouse Partnership, which then spends most of its time lobbying for HS2 and has, and its connections with the firms that are getting the contracts for HS2. And last week when the government review was announced, I was on Sky with a bloke from Northern Powerhouse Partnership, and I put the links to these things in. And the one thing I regret not saying was he was going on about, you don't like evidence, this will be an evidence-based review. And it's a perfect, MPP is a perfect example of making up the evidence, because a couple of weeks ago, there were these reports that they'd done a survey, and the vast majority of businesses, 5,000 businesses in the north, all want HS2. And those are the headlines. But you read the actual report, 5,000 junk mails were sent out. There's no, there weren't 5,000 responses. There's no mention of how many responses to this questionnaire there actually were, just that 5,000 junk mails were sent out. And you look for the question on HS2, There's no question on HS2. There's no answer on HS2. There's no statistics at all in this report. So either they didn't ask about HS2, or the question was asked and they didn't get the results they wanted. There's loads of quotes, like the one from George Osborne saying, well, this survey shows that everyone wants HS2. But absolutely no evidence in their own report that says any of the businesses in the north of England wanted HS2. And that's the sort of evidence that I'm sure they are very keen to keep on presenting. Well, it's the end of day 9. It's the end of day 19. I did manage to get some walking done in the end. After a lot of messing about and the idea that I was going to do a studio interview, I ended up doing an interview on Skype. So I could have done it walking like I did the one in Cheshire last week. Oh well. My sister brought me back to Middleton, and I managed to walk to Coleshill from there. So I'm quite happy. I've done about 10 miles. I should have only done about 9 miles, but there was this field in Middleton that I went in, and at the start of the footpath, it said, "Oh, the parish council consider it dangerous because the subsidence, because banks fall into the river." And I kept thinking, "Oh, it's not dangerous at all." But the sign meant that people hadn't walked down there, and the nettles, worst nettles ever. Anyway, get a bridge over the river, and I'm just sort of rubbing my legs, and I'm not paying attention to the dog, and the dog walks into another electric fence. And she does exactly what she did last time. She runs away, I call her, she comes back, and then she runs away more. And yeah, I have to go back through the nettles. Someone rings me, say, "Oh, your dog's over here." Right, all the way through the nettles, yeah. And I wasn't going through a third time, so we went a long way round. I also realised that there's a lot of dual carriageways round here with lots of traffic and no footpaths. So we came down from Hunts Green, the canal, to Curdworth, and then across from Curdworth through the industrial estate here to Coleshill. And it's quite a nice place, apart from the fact we're right on the banks of the Cole, and I'm getting bitten like buggery. So I want to get this over with. And the worst thing is that, obviously, because my legs are sort of, throbbing's the wrong word, but radiating, I don't know what the word is, but they're really ow, and even some of my forearms as well. So I can't actually tell when I'm getting bitten on the nettle stings, so I really need to stop this and get in the tent and zip it up. To be honest, I suppose the fact that, I'm quite happy because I've got 10 miles done, and it was hot in the day anyway, and so all the walking I've done has been cool, and realistically, I'm probably close enough to Kenilworth to make it genuinely home tomorrow. Well, that's my aim. It's quiz night, Wednesday. It is Wednesday tomorrow, isn't it?